Best video game franchise. What do we like? We got sports games. We got action
Because
games.
now I can't hear nobody. That's crazy.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, bro.
How did we get here?
What are we talking about?
Right.
And it's always the high pitched, like, oh my god!
Put both of those. I'm not a sports guy. You could put both of those games in front of me. I would not know the difference.
shut the hell up.
Connect to my Xbox. So whenever I go traveling, I don't need to.
But that's stupid. That's like, that point is stupid. That's like saying, you know what? iPhone's better because I can connect it to my iPad.
They'll only respect you more though if you don't come out on this podcast and go talk to them first before you officially come out the closet.
You gotta do what you do, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do. Kiss some toes, eat some ass, you know.
Mike had a vasectomy and still had a baby.
Vice City was the one.
Oh!
Yes!
You might have just won me over. Vice City is the greatest GTA ever.
I just started Death Note. I've never watched it, and I was just.
Oh my god!
Well, you're bottom heavy. Your legs are muscular. You're up.
Do you think my ass is fat? That's crazy.
That's
We gotta
not
end this conversation.
That's not
Thank you guys for streaming Brilliant Swag.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Brilliant Swag. I'm your host, Jameson Grace, today, and hello with
Wonderful start.
I was trying to my best, but yes, welcome to another episode of Brilliant Swag with my fellow co-hosts. We're going to start off with Victor.
Wait a minute. What a way to start your first time hosting.
You know what? It's a great building point. It's a great building point.
Nowhere to go but up.
I want to say before y'all get started, my favorite thing about that intro is the ending where Dion's just like, Dion, I love when Dion just does the head shake on a take. He just smiles and shakes his head. He has no time for our foolishness.
Yeah, Tyson.
All right, Jameson, go ahead.
I was rocking with it in the beginning. I fell off a bit there, but hey, you sip and stumble, you pick back up. All right, Victor, introduce yourself.
I'm Victor Loper,
You're followed by
Steelers
Dion.
fan. I mean, yeah, Steelers fan
Ain't nobody
all the
care
way.
about that, man. Dion.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm currently in college for film and video production.
Nice. What's your favorite film?
Ooh, that's a hard one, but I'd have to go with The Possession of Michael King, mostly just because that's the only horror movie my dad's scared of.
Wow.
And Ezekiel?
Reason. My name is Ezekiel Freeman. I'm just getting into acting and everything like that.
I knew he was going to do that. No one can hear. So before the episode starts, he's loud. And then as soon as we start, hi, my name is Ezekiel Freeman. I got
All right, Keone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Mike Tyson.
Great. My name is Ezekiel Freeman. I want to do acting and modeling, you know what I'm saying? Go to college. And that's my plans right now.
Are you related to Riley Freeman?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay.
Straight out the boondocks with it.
Okay. All right. Today's episode is in our commemoration of Black History Month and our beautiful Black people. Come on now, raise that fist up. I'm about to see him. Don't clap. Put that fist up. There we go. Thank you. Come on, Black Power.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, let's go, baby.
Oh no,
Dion. Black figures today.
All day.
So,
Dion, your fist is a little light. I need you to darken it up. Hey,
sorry.
Dion, what are you? Dion, what are you?
That's that my ancestors used to be in the house fist.
Wait,
the Uncle Tom's.
No, I didn't say that now. I didn't say that, Vic.
I know, I'm just
Tony, you would actually be correct.
I'm back on topic. Anyway. We're here to talk about Black figures, okay? Historic Black figures in the community that we need to praise more as our ancestors fought for the places where we are in today's society. We've had a Black president, Barack Obama, speak what you will, but the man had a phenomenal second term. He pushed this country to places we hadn't been before. He increased our economy, and unemployment went up. I mean, down. Apologies, but like the culture of the country was different. It was a more hopeful, joyous time. And of course, the gays. Come on now, gay weddings, legalization of gay marriages. But this is an example of another black figure that's pushing the boundaries and liberating not only for other African Americans, but for another community itself. And that's kind of how the black community has always been in America, and that should needs to be praised more. So, is there any historical figures that have touched any of your guys' lives where you just feel like you felt proud to be black?
I think it starts with my father.
Mm.
Jameson, you got to scoot over a little bit. I think it starts with my father. It starts there. My father and my grandfather, because they it started there. I didn't have to have outside heroes in the beginning when I was young. And you don't know they're heroes until you get, a little older. I mean, you have your standard people that we can talk about, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, you learn about Frederick Douglass, you learn about all those things. But you always I try to find black heroes in my time period or who were relevant during my time. When I was a teenager, it was still Jesse Jackson. But now I look at it and it makes me sad because we've gone from Jesse Jackson to Dr. Umar. How'd that happen?
I don't think Dr. Umar counts.
No, he doesn't count now, but at
Funny
some
story. Funny
no wait,
story.
he doesn't
I
count now, James Ezekiel, but at a time he was being counted in the beginning.
mhm.
Yeah.
Black Queens forever. Snow bunnies never.
I just feel like a lot more, and I could be wrong. Victor, tell me, Victor Dion, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's getting harder to disseminate outside of the political spectrum, even in political spectrum, the black leaders that are grifting versus the ones that are trying to lead.
Fair.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's
That's it. Y'all just gonna say I agree, and this is a great
I
live.
mean, there
I
is
know.
a
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm
I want
thinking
to
about
I want
what
to
I
word
would.
this properly.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
correct. Like,
Oh,
my
the
feed
thing is,
is
it's a fair take.
primarily just Dean Withers, and like, so I'm not as familiar, but like everything that I've heard is just we don't know who is for what really.
Honestly, I think it's a lack of care. I think we hoist some of these people on these platforms, and we think we hold them accountable, but we like don't. They don't view us as anything. Like that's kind of what's happening with our politicians at the current moment. They don't care for their constituents. They're getting lobbied by all these mega corporations. They're lining their pockets. Their families don't have to work ever again. I mean, you look at it,
Well,
they're inside trading all the time. We're looking at the Epstein files. It's mass rings, mass sex trials,
okay,
sex rings. They're
but but
cycling money around. Like
but
they don't care for the constituents.
but two things about what
That's
you're
it.
saying, Jameson, is one, I wouldn't paint I always hate sweeping generalizations. That's just me. And two, you ain't seeing a lot of people that look like us in the
No,
files.
no, I'm not saying just like us, but I'm saying as a society, like
Yeah, but I ain't worried
that
about them today.
greed has
I ain't
in
worried. I ain't worried
its
about them today
clutches on
because
everybody in the country at this point, and that's infested even our community. Like you see some of these people money
I
hungry.
get it. But you know what? We got 4 days left, so I ain't worried about them right now. We got 4 days of us left.
Hey, you're right. Power to the people.
Focus on us.
It's another world.
Yeah.
You see,
No, it's just I do agree though that it's like a lot of the grifting and stuff is just because we don't know who's money grabbing and we don't know who's like for real being like for us at the end of the day. I mean, like freaking uh I think it's Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Oh God,
And
that's
Oh
the
with the whole
grift.
God,
Trump situation,
That's the grift.
bad pick,
Mhm.
bad pick.
That's the grift.
yeah.
Or when you get people, Jameson, like the opposite of what you're talking about, when you get people like Jasmine Crockett out here trying to fight and do the
Love
right
Jasmine
thing,
Crockett.
and
Love
then you
Jasmine
get
Crockett.
people like Stephen A. Smith, that's always jumping on there. And I hate the black people that always start with, I'm a Democrat and I'm this and that. And then everything after your mouth that comes out is a deterrent for what black people are actually trying to do.
Right.
And I also don't like the black people. And when I say black, because Dion, I was saying that earlier, sometimes when you hear black, they just think African American, right?
Mhm.
And I meet so many people that go, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, I'm not black. And when I look at them and they look like me, I'm like, okay, take your ass down to Alabama and see if they don't consider you black. You get a rude awakening of how black you are because you think because you have a different ethnic background, you ain't black. Okay. And
If you are not white, you will be treated the same.
right, you know, it
But
only gets you
that's not
so
true.
far,
They treat
right?
us
And
worse.
you may get put in the club, but you're still not in the club. But we have this thing where, and I don't like when black people will enforce the stereotypical narratives that have already been disproven. And the biggest one that they always use is the no black fathers in the home. That one kills me. So let's go over the top 10 black myths. And then I'm gonna go over each one. What's the myth and what's the fact? And then let's talk about it, right? Myth number one: black families are mostly fatherless. Fact: the majority of black fathers are involved in their kids' lives, often more involved daily than fathers of other demographics, according to the CDC data. Presence does not always look like marriage. Involvement is high across co parenting structures. There's a lot of black families that co parent. Just because they're not in the same house and together doesn't mean they're not co parenting. I coach talent. Almost every black kid that I've coached I see two parents. I'm not saying I don't see single moms and single dads, but it's been a widespread myth. And then you'll see black people go on there and say, we need more fathers in the home. We all need more fathers in the home, but it's a myth that is just rampant throughout our community. Over to you guys.
I think that, well, for being black, we always gonna be the ones that just getting looked on, like whether we do good or not. So at the end of the day, we're the ones that's, like they always gonna pinpoint if we're doing something positive, they're always gonna try to turn it or flip it around. Regardless, that's just what it is. So if you are a great father and they're going to try to minimize you being a great, especially if you're black. So compared to other cultures, they're going to put them on a higher pedestal, and that just comes with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like being involved in your child's life doesn't mean you have to always be there 24/7. Yes, there are children that are always getting child support from their father because their father doesn't live with them and their mom, but that doesn't mean their father doesn't take time to take care of their children.
Which is often a situation that's caused by the courts, not by the actual family themselves. It is like disparagingly more likely for the mother to end up with like custody of the children where the father is not in like physically in the home. However, there is a lot of instances where we see that the fathers are in fact actually involved. And I will say, of my black friends, their parents are either together or like the dad is involved much more often than my like white friends. So like just for that myth in general.
Because it's not said. And the RDAV says, why is Calogero not on the stream? Because Calogero's on Right or Wrong. This is Brilliant Swag. It's a whole different show. But we love Calogero. All right. Anybody else want to say anything about that before I go on to myth number two?
I mean,
Now,
I don't.
I'm not busting myth number one of the myths because I'm sitting here eating fried chicken while y'all are talking. So I'm probably doing a disservice to everything that we're talking about, dispelling myths. Okay. Myth number two: Black families don't value marriage. Oh, we just kind of hit on that. Black families don't value marriage. Fact, Black Americans show strong cultural support for marriage, but economic barriers, income inequality, incarceration rates, employment gaps influence marital statistics, not lack of value for desires. We had about a 20-30 year period. Well, I won't even say 20-30 years. Since we were free, they've been throwing us in jail for anything. So when you take, like, when people say, well, just because your father went to prison, no, you create this culture. You take someone who didn't do anything or had a misdemeanor or because he whistled at a white woman or, he's in jail. He's away from his kids. He's not in the home. So we've taken that and that has fed into that first myth. But we've recovered from that a lot. Not the people who are still incarcerated. And when we say that, people, we're not talking about hardened criminals. We're not talking about murders, PDFs, the rapists, and all of that. You got people sitting in jail for when weed was illegal in most states for longer sentences than people that committed actual homicides. That's insane.
Yeah, there's someone. I'm not going to name names, but there's someone at my college, happens to be white. Ran a like yield sign and ended up killing a motorcyclist, and they have a misdemeanor for it.
Damn. That's
And
crazy.
they're still walking about right now, actually.
See,
So
if it was a darker skinned person with a little bit of weed in the car, that man would have at least
Oh,
20.
actually, I have another example for that specifically.
Yes.
There were. I had another black friend. She came over. I'm in a fraternity. She came over to the frat house to like hang out for a second. And whenever she left, she had weed on her. She was going to just skateboard, but my white friends insisted that they drive her home. And the cops ended up pulling him over for a tail light. And the white friend goes, "Sorry about the weed smell. I let my friend smoke in the car the other day." At which point, everyone gets searched. The white people get their like carts, all of the like the weed stuff back. My black friend now has it on her record for possession of marijuana.
Of course, we got to create the record.
Yeah.
Mhm. So like it's like that was a clear sign that it's still happening.
Yeah.
It's a major
Did,
problem.
you, did anyone see the I want to say what is Michael B. Jordan when he was getting the award
Oh
and they
yeah.
were talking about
Yeah.
the
With the
outburst
drugs. Yeah.
and just how the whole show, how they didn't even edit it. And
Hmm.
so I mean that's always going that's been going on ever since even when Martin Luther King, like nothing really changed, just been hidden.
Oh,
But now
Mm.
now with everything going on, you see it kind of resurfacing a lot more. People feel more comfortable now
well,
to
I
kind of
wonder
express
why.
and
There was
show
a
that.
teacher that got caught in a hot
I
mic
wonder
talking
why.
about
I
they
wonder
would
why
like
they
come
used
to
to feel
class
they feel more
and
comfortable.
if
They
you
used to
teach
be.
them young, they'll never know how to leave from out the back door in reference to like a slave house.
Mhm.
And she got caught in a hot mic.
Hey,
By the way, she's not
that's
been
to
suspended,
be
as far as to my knowledge.
that's to be expected. You're talking about outbursts. What about the biggest one? Remember what we were talking about Obama earlier? His first presidency, his first address to Congress. Somebody stands up, yells, "You lied!" When did they start yelling at presidents? They don't yell at this man,
No one
but
yells
they
at this
yelled at
man.
him.
All the
They
dumb stuff he
or,
says.
or Sleepy Joe. Neither one of them. No one yells at either of them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Now we're to the point where now here's the thing: they boo the hell out of him everywhere he goes. That's why he doesn't really go to a lot of the places anymore. And I know it ate him up that Obama and Michelle were at the All Star game and got a
Standing
thunderous
ovation.
applause.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, a
Yeah.
thunderous applause.
I know
Okay.
they hit the pride a little bit.
Uh-oh. This is the one that always gets me because I grew up with we didn't have much money, and the reason why you can tell we were on free lunch at school, and my dad never accepted welfare. But myth: Black families depend on welfare. The fact welfare usage reflects poverty rates, not race. Most people on government assistance in the US are white. Black families work at high rates, often juggling multiple jobs due to wage gaps. That
Yeah,
one
that's
always
such a
gets me.
myth.
That one always gets me. Every
Yeah,
time they
that
talk about welfare, EBT, food stamps, they always
yeah.
picture black people.
I think at this point, with the age of technology, it's less. I think back in the '90s and the '70s, like in those older ages, pre like internet like connection, like it was easier to like believe anything you saw on the news.
No,
Nowadays, you have all
Jameson.
these tools to be able to
No,
fact check.
Jameson. It
It's
just
it's
happened.
actually it's really
It
bad
just wait,
again
hold on,
because of
Dion. Yeah, it just happened when Trump said that they were going to make those cuts and Snap was going to go away. Didn't you see all the TikToks? You didn't see all the YouTube
Yeah, I
videos
did. They
talking
started
about
Yeah.
stealing
how
that
much trouble black people were going to be in until those very people who used that didn't realize, wait, oh, they thought
It's more of
welfare
us.
was just food stamps.
I mean,
Mhm.
not to mention there were AI made like this administration went out of their way to make AI videos with black people involving welfare specifically.
Right.
And
Fake videos
people are
showing
believing it because
black
people believe
people
AI.
complaining about now I have to go get a job. Ain't no black person ever made no
Are
TikTok
they
video.
real? I haven't
Now
seen them.
I
Are
have
they
to go get a
realistic
job.
videos?
Right, right.
Huh?
Are they like really realistic videos? I haven't seen them.
They
It,
look real
They look
for the
real.
most
yeah,
Okay.
part. Like,
they
you
look
can
real.
tell,
They did
like
it
if
on
you're paying
purpose.
attention, you can tell that it's AI. But for the people that are just watching and scrolling, which is most people, it
They're
looks
not gonna
real.
notice the difference.
Yeah.
Right. And this ran rampant during that time. So that's why I brought that up. Not because of back in the day. And many people not understanding welfare. When people say welfare, what do you think most people think of? Most people who don't understand welfare, what do they
Okay.
think of?
Food stamps.
Think of black people.
Yeah, they're forgetting about Medicare, Medicaid, veterans assistance, disability, all of these things that affect more people, but all they picture is a black person at a store, single mom, 5 kids, getting free food. That's all they picture.
What
It's
just
the
happened?
stereotypes. It's the stereotypes.
Oh my God, James Ezekiel.
What did you
Not
do?
only
That's my
not
bad.
only
My
did
bad. I
your
lost
internet
connection.
crap out, you went and clicked Jameson's link and kicked him out of his. You got to click the link next to your name, bruh. Oh my God. I'm like, is he at Jameson's house? I swear to God, Dion, this is this old ghetto. This is a welfare channel. That's what this is. This old bootleg ass talk show. That can't get the now. Poor
They
Jameson
say
probably has no idea what to do. Oh my
we are
God.
never organized.
I
Is that,
apologize
is
for
that a
calling
myth?
Oh
Jameson
my
out.
God, Ezekiel, such an ass. Now I gotta call Jameson because he's probably confused. Oh, he probably thinks something happened to his internet.
He probably kept talking.
He's probably still talking. Yo, no, we
Oh,
didn't kick you off. Ezekiel lost connection, and then he clicked on your link and popped up with your name on the screen. So he kicked you out. You know, I'm light skinned. I told you. I told you. It's the light skinned people. I told you. Right? No, you can come
There's
back.
another light skinned person on this call.
We put him back in the house. All right.
I'll summon Jameson again,
Damn.
guys.
He
He's coming back.
sounds so defeated. Thanks, Ezekiel.
Oh my god.
This man's
My
first
bad.
time hosting, and this is what you do to him. All right, let's go to myth number 4. Oh, Victor, I'm throwing this one to you. Myth number 4. Black mothers are angry, aggressive, or hard to please. Here's the fact. The stereotype misreads strength, boundary setting, and resilience formed through generational survival. Black moms routinely carry enormous emotional and logistical loads with grace, humor, and love. And I think that's kind of women in general. You know, a woman has this really weird space that if they're soft, it's because they're a woman, and if they're too hard, they're a bitch.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Thing is though,
Yeah.
They're always going to be emotional, more emotional than any of us are. So I mean, it's like
Are they more emotional? Or are they just able to show
Actually,
their emotion because we're taught because we're emotional? We're just all forced to hold it
we're taught to be
inside until
tough.
we
Yeah, yeah.
die of
that's
anger.
true.
Men
True,
That's
men
deep
are
though. That's a
arguably
deep
true.
more
combo though.
What'd you say, Dion?
I said men are arguably more emotional.
Nah, I don't know. I
Uh-oh. Go
think
ahead.
I definitely think
Go
women.
ahead, Victor.
I
Say
definitely
it.
think women. I got
Man,
women are definitely more emotional. More they're getting
Women
their
are more
feelings real
likely
quick about something so small, and like women are definitely more emotional.
women are more
You
likely to
know.
voice when they are upset. Men are more likely to have emotional outbursts.
that's true. I can agree with that because what do I look like? You know what I'm saying? Explaining my emotions. I don't even know how to really.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
the
a
sad.
bunch of things. It's one, it gets better with this generation, but one, where you come from, Victor, and where I was older than you were taught not to show the damn emotion that you have. So
Right.
men will actually show their emotions more poorly when it's time to show it because now the damn top has been blown off.
Right.
Right? That's why men have, like he says, loud, violent outbursts. Or you have them find a vice to control those emotions because you can't vent to anybody. You used to vent to your boy back in the day, and they're like, "Why are you bitching?" Instead of listening to you and helping you with the problem. You can't solve a problem by just saying, "Man, suck it up and be tough." That doesn't solve the fucking
Yeah.
problem. The problem is still there.
That's how we were taught, though.
Yeah. But then what happens is that's why a lot of men used to die old and angry because you're just holding everything. You're just holding it
Yeah.
all in till you have a fucking heart attack, you know?
Yeah.
And
Heart
then
attack is crazy.
the trick to that is, and then women might say, well, that's how men are taught. But women can be the same thing because women always say, I want a man who's in touch with their emotions, in touch with their feelings, can communicate with me. And then as soon as you do it, that's not manly.
Right.
No,
But nowadays it has changed. The generation has changed. Like now, I
it
feel like more men are more expressive now. Like and you got more women that's running around in masculine energy. You know, like it's
as
like being that boss. You know,
as
so it's
someone
like it's kind of like the roles has switched.
as someone who's about to turn 22, I disagree with that statement.
What what
I
statement?
the statement that like the roles have switched. I
I,
am I'm in college, so I'm surrounded by them. Men still be hiding the fuck out of their emotions. I've
go
noticed,
ahead.
and women are still doing what they can to push, but I've also seen women do the same where it's just, why are you being so emotional, or like, why are you talking about his emotions so much when like they're asking for you to do it. So it's still being perpetuated either way, but it's still a thing.
I feel like the generation now is more like Drake. You know what I mean? They're more men are more in touch with their feelings, emotions and stuff. Back in the day, it was more of a DMX, it was more hardcore, more street, more like, yo, you
Yeah,
soft, dude. Like, yo,
Fifty
you
Cent
weak.
type vibe.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Exactly. Nowadays it's
Yeah.
more Drake, more singing, more emotional. Like Drake will say something, why don't you tell me how to decorate your room or something like to me, I'm like, man, yeah. Like, but that's just the generation, just how it changed. And even you could see it in the music, you know.
Yeah, I
Hey,
don't disagree with that. I do agree
but you know
that
what?
it. Yeah,
But
I
people look
do
at it
agree.
Like
as a
women's
matter.
is playing that masculine role. Like most women is
Okay,
like on some boss and gorilla.
okay,
Like, man, I don't want, man.
okay. But here's the thing. But like
Yeah,
you're the way
our
you just. Can you guys hear
musically,
me?
women have become the more aggressive of like. I do agree with that.
Parties, the Nickies, the gorillas, all of them. Like even they voice is like,
The
I want
gorilla.
you to talk sexy to me, not like on
Okay, but
some.
oh yeah, but see, here's the problem with what you're doing though, Victor. I mean, I
Okay,
mean, I grew up with some women that started that. Here's the problem is who the fuck cares? It's just not the whole life is about finding your match. If that ain't for you,
correct, correct.
let somebody else do it.
That's
There's some guy out there that likes that. There's some guy out there that likes
Correct,
their
correct.
women overly feminine. There's some guys that like take charge women. There's some guys that want women to sit back and be quiet. You finding what's right for you doesn't mean downing where
Yeah,
something else is
correct.
going. Because the reason why guys are able, and I hate when people like, I'm not saying you did this, feminize guys to throw in their feelings because we've decided, even I'm 47 and I decided to go see a damn therapist. I'm sorry that guys today will talk about their feelings and see a therapist instead of stopping home at the bar on the way home from work, getting drunk, and then going home and smacking their wife because they made casserole again. I'm sorry that they don't do that anymore. There was a meme, a video that showed it was an old school movie with Sean Connery. Is like, and it was a meme that the woman said, "I want men like they used to be," and it goes to Sean Connery, says, "Go back up to the room," but I don't want to go to the room, and he smacked the hell out of her. He said, "That's the way men used to be built. That's what you want? You sure that's what you want?"
Right. I
So
think
it's
it's all
like,
about just creating that balance, though, having that
yeah,
balance. That's
but the
all. Yeah.
balance for you is what I'm saying. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson said this to Bill Maher when I was watching that interview where Bill Maher goes, "I point out shit that has changed. It doesn't make me bad." He said, "Yeah, but I look at how things change and I adapt to it because it helps me help people navigate through the space that they're in." You're getting old when you start talking about the way things used to be. Those days ain't coming back, just like the generation before us did it with us. And we looked at them and said, "Don't worry about what we're doing," right? Because even with all that changing, it's always the younger generation that gets more tolerable. It's
Mhm.
always the younger generation that gets more innovative.
Yeah.
And you either adapt or you die. If this isn't the woman or man for you, then those other men and women are still out there. Every woman ain't running around
Right.
with masculine energy. So if somebody wants to get successful on doing that, great. You've got masculine women influencers, you've got sexy, very feminine woman influencers. You just find what works for you. Ain't nobody saying you got to go marry Glorilla, because you know what? You ain't screwing Glorilla. I guarantee you, she's screwing you.
Hey, especially with that deep ass voice.
Right.
Yeah.
I
That's
know
why
it's pretty
Rihanna
cool though.
Rihanna left
Oh, go
Drake. She's like, "I went from somebody fighting me in a car to somebody crying after sex."
Yeah. Mm,
It's a drastic.
Talk
well,
about Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
man.
all right. Myth number 5. Jameson is having a meltdown. Ezekiel, you have totally kicked him off. He can't get
I'm
back
sorry,
on.
James. Oh my
God
god.
damn.
Ah, that's my fault, James. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Jameson does look like Ezekiel when you look at the links. It's very confusing. Those names
Yeah,
are,
it,
they
it
start with
it
the
was
same letter and everything. He's from North Carolina, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive him. They're 47th in education. Okay. Um Myth number 5.
How does
Black
he know
families
this?
are chaotic or unstable. Here's the fact. Families unite I'm sorry. Black family units are historically among the strongest community-based structures, rooted in multi-generational support, shared caregiving, church communities, collective parenting. It takes a village. Stability looks different across cultures, and the black families excel in adaptability. You know what? I see that in a lot of cultures. I mean, Latin culture, big on family. Caribbean culture, big on family. Asian culture, big on family. That's why I'm like, these cultures are huge when it comes to family, but narratives.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, it all depends on the initially, on what I'm saying, what family really means to them. Like in Asia, like China areas, they got status in family. That's the most important thing in there. But say like Samoan, they all just family. They got a whole large family. They all rock with each other. They all blood. They all cousins. That's the same way it is with us as dark skinned people. I feel like.
um,
Damn, y'all ain't gonna follow Zeke's statement up with
Uh,
nothing. That's messed up.
Hey, bro,
no, I,
I
I,
throw an alley.
me, I haven't.
I
Oh,
paused it.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Victor. You're good.
Now, me myself, I mean, like, I didn't come from a close family background. Like, I didn't have it's just I've been through a lot of tragedy, so I can't really. I'm not that close to my family, so uh, that's just me personally. So that's why I don't want. That's why I'm not really saying much like that situation. So
Um, I know I'm very close to the funnily enough, the black side of my family. The Latin side I'm also close to, but it's more difficult because they're all in California and I'm in Georgia. But like from what I can tell, we are all like very close knit. My mom actually had to get away because they were a little too close knit. Uh, yeah, no, they,
Oh,
us having more disorganized or like the lack of structure and stability in families just doesn't translate realistically.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're all a complete family when it comes to like coming together at one place, whether it be a cookout, holidays, and sometimes just be vision popping up on them. Like I just randomly go to my grandma's house one day, and then all my cousins will be there. You feel me? Like I never planned it, never said, "Hey, let's meet at 7:30." We all be lit as hell anyway. You feel me?
Yeah, we just kind
But
of pick.
my question, I just got a quick question. My question is to like when I see Hispanics. Like they can all live in the same house, like so many packed together. Like so, like to me, that's like a whole nother different type of level. Like like you talking about, hey, we gonna all do this together. You know what I mean? Like that's like you know what I mean. Like we're to me the black family, like we'll have like a get together and all meet together, something like that though. But when you talking about like living in the same house, like nah, I can't stay with my cousin. Like you know what I mean? It's gonna be a different. I feel like if you doing that type of situation, it's gonna be a problem. Because to me, like I got cousins, they got too many egos, with the females and different stuff like that, and this to all live in the same house and everything, whether it's big enough for all of them, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, except at the end of the day, I'm like I've known people who are like that and like they have an issue when they're living together and stuff. But at the end of the day, if something happens with one of them or if they
Well,
need
yeah,
help or anything, regardless of what drama they have
yeah,
going on at home, they have that support. That support is there.
yeah.
excuse me.
So
What
I
are we
got yeah.
talking about? I was trying to figure this out. Are we talking about the black community? I'm confused.
so
The black
we're
family.
talking the why can't I
Yeah,
remember
we missed you missed a lot since Zeke kicked you out. And I like your new name. It says
I'm sorry,
Jameson
JJ. My
Fu
bad.
Zeke. I like the new name. It says Jameson Fu Zeke. That's a great name, by the way. But so
Oh
Jameson,
shit! I thought I missed my name. What his name?
you missed a lot, Jameson. You missed the
Okay.
myth of black families don't value marriage. We talked about that. We talked about black families depend on welfare. We talked about black
I was like,
mothers are angry, aggressive, or hard to please. And
oh,
then we were just talking about black
oh,
families are chaotic or unstable. And then we started talking about how the different cultures are very family oriented, whether it's Asian, Latin, black, Hispanic, Polynesian, Samoan. A lot of these cultures are very deeply family oriented, and it's crazy that we talk about how all of these races aren't family oriented, and the race that talks about that the most are the Caucasian, and statistics shows that they're less family oriented. They will call their child if they have to, you know but every other race gets seen as not family oriented, or damn savages.
yeah.
That's just crazy.
Jameson, you got anything to say to that?
come on. Um, I guess I gotta stay on topic. I gotta stay on topic. I think they're always gonna prosecute African Americans regardless of what we do and regardless of what they say. I think us as the community, we have to stay strong in the faith and conviction that we know that we are better than their slander in every instance. So
That's right.
regardless of whatever slander and hazing they want to say, as Keonu's been producing, statistics are in our favor. So I'm proud of the growth my community has had over the years, and I pray for nothing but more. So regardless of the slander, regardless of the misinformation, the AI videos, the propaganda against us, we are better, and we will continue to be better.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. I support that.
Yeah. It's hard to follow that up. Um, just in
Yeah,
general.
it's real deep.
Uh,
All right. Next myth. Let's
All
go.
right,
Let's keep
he's
it
on to
moving.
the jukebox. All right,
He said, "Damn, I can't compete with that one."
here we
He
go.
said it right, right.
Yeah,
Nah, he
you
rapped.
said it. There's nothing else to say.
Here we go. Myth number 6.
Amen.
Myth number 6. Black men aren't emotional or nurturing. That's the myth. The fact is, black fathers, uncles, brothers, and grandfathers are deeply affectionate and supportive, but cultural survival has often required emotional regulation in public spaces. Privately, they are pillars of love. Now, we kind of talked about that early, Victor. You did see that at that time where a grandfather, a father, or uncle is more inclined to sit you to the side and explain something to you, but they'll put up that hard shell in
Yeah,
public,
yeah.
and that was due to you understanding that you already start with an X, right?
Hmm.
So it's like we talked about earlier with you having something minor and they need to get that record on you. So you already started with the X. Then now that your friend Dion, now she's got that possession. Now she's black
Yeah.
with possession. And you start going down that checklist. So they're trying to harden you because they know how the world is,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Um, Tommy Davidson. Do y'all know who Tommy Davidson is? He was on A Living Color, right?
Mhm.
He was adopted by white parents,
Oh, the
and
skinny dude. The skinny dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
So he told, um, you know what? I'm gonna find it. Y'all talk about it. I'm gonna find the clip of what
Okay.
he talked about. Go ahead.
Um.
Uh,
Yeah. Joking.
well, oh, go ahead. You got it.
No, you got it.
All right. Well, I just think that like part of that, like from your grandfathers, is like when you understand like the things they've been through, as far as racism and the different things, they want you to be as a man. You got to be tough because when you like, if you ever deal with racism or someone like I dealt with someone spitting on me. You know what I mean? Like you deal with certain stuff, subjects, like that's a whole nother like so you gotta be tough when you're dealing with certain situations. And if they train you and they raise you to be some sort, you know what I mean? Like when you face reality of how people really feel and the things they might be willing to do, it's gonna break you. So I think part of that is to try to keep give you that balance, give you that heart. Like because most of the time the mother is the nurturer, though, but the grandfather is though, but he's gonna give you that tough love as well. But then come back and just show you that hey, I love you though. This is where I'm looking out for you. I want the best for you because this is a cold world out here.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
you
how
know
I feel
what?
like
There's
that's what it
but
was.
there's
Yeah.
but there's also a fine line. You got the ones that really
Yeah,
overdo it,
Yeah.
and you got to know when to be.
absolutely.
But the thing they're saying is, you got to know when to be hard and when to also show compassion. My grandfather was an extremely. I mean, he grew up on the farms of Mississippi in a city that doesn't exist anymore, and their houses were built on stilts in a swamp. Okay, so and he used to always tell me when he talked about manhood, he said, because I went to cry one time, and my cousin was like, "You ain't supposed to cry." And my grandfather said, "You think that doesn't make you a man?" He said, "A man that knows his emotions and knows how to utilize his emotions is a man. It's okay to say I'm sorry. It's okay if you need to cry about something. It's okay. You got fathers and grandfathers out there, Victor, that thought they would ruin their son if they gave him a hug. That's when it becomes extreme. So that's what I'm saying. You aren't saying to do that, but there's a balance. You got to find that balance. Or else you know what happens? You become an unstable man.
Yeah. Um.
Notice the hardest dudes at the end of the day don't got no friends. You end up with no friends, no woman,
You end
no
up alone.
children that like you.
Yeah. I can only speak on this so much because I didn't have a black grandfather that was present, and so like I just have my dad and then my experience when like I kind of had to raise my brother a little bit. Um. Raised my brother a little bit, but yeah, growing up, my dad was nurturing at home, and he was definitely still like Keone said in the like the truth part. He was that stern, like this is how you got to act in public kind of thing. Um, and I remember there was this one time, And I remember this because you mentioned being spit on, Victor. My brother spit on one of my black friends, and I just had to sit there and let that black friend beat the shit out of my brother for a good 5 minutes before I jumped in. Just because, like, some with a lot of things, unfortunately, you have to learn the hard way, and especially being someone who is not white, you have to learn. And finding that balance is really difficult, especially when you're growing up in a society that tells you, especially as a man, that like you're not allowed to be emotional. It's actually really dangerous for you to be emotional, letting other people see that like side of you as a weakness kind of thing. And
And
so
yeah, that's crazy. And Dion, think about it like this. Okay, Dion, it's no secret. It's not like you're homosexual, correct?
Mhm.
And what's the first thing they say? Oh, well, you're gay. That's why.
Yeah.
No, because that's what Neanderthals do. Because you show him, well, he's gay. Of course he's gonna be emotional and show emotion. Get my club and go back into my cave.
I've actually
I watch football.
Funnily enough, I have been told that more often than not, people don't actually know how I feel. I don't talk about my issues all that often. I am a lot more likely to get someone else to talk about their emotions with me because I know how important it is. But I'm also like probably one of the last people to tell someone else if I'm going through something. And that's a part of just how I was raised, is because of if you tell someone that you're not okay, if you tell someone that like something that they did hurt you, at the end of the day, you're showing your weakness. And so like that's still something that I'm not like over, and that I believe that that's part of like what we're talking about right now.
Well, that can be okay. You know where that can be okay, Victor? If you're that person, it's okay if it's not affecting your life. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Mhm.
If you're able to do that and it's not affecting you mentally or relationships with people, then fine. It's when it's affecting you, but you're too stubborn in your manliness to understand that.
Too much pride.
Yeah.
Pride is a
Where
rebel.
it's the fear of like being wrong. I don't know why that's a fear that everyone has, but that's a very large fear that I believe a lot of people have, where it's just like, this is how things have been done my whole life. This is how I've been doing things. If I change it up and it ends up like everyone else was right, then like I can't do that. I can't be wrong. Like that kind of thing. Is that something I also feel is very common.
I totally agree. You know, brother, you was speaking to me. You was that up. You was speaking my truth. Hallelujah.
I'm gonna show you this.
Not the gay part, not the gay part, but
Oh my god.
Well, no, also Dion, you really down for the cause. What's happening?
I don't know. His thing kind of went out, and I don't know. Ever since Ezekiel screwed him over, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Thanks, Zeke. Thanks again. Thanks again, Zeke.
You let your brother get beat up for 5 minutes?
Yeah, I did. He spit on
so
someone.
real for that.
Spit on somebody.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We got to speak to somebody, NCAACP, somebody, because we got to give you some extra days for that. That's real.
So what you talk about preparing, Vic talked about preparing somebody for the world. I want you to hear what Tommy said about his mom.
Like I used to be late to school. My sister looks like Cindy Brady, okay? I'd go to school late and she'd go to school late. And the punishment for that was you have to sign up for detention. She used to be able to go straight to class and I had to sign up for detention. So here come my mother again. I used to think she was crazy. Sat down with the principal who was black. She said, okay, so what is the problem here? And he was going, what's going on, Miss Davis? What's going on? She said, why does my daughter get to go to class and my son have to sign up for detention? And he said, well, we didn't know that was your daughter, man. She said, why does that make any difference? He said, we'll get that straight, but my mother does this, man. She said, you're coming with me. Man, here come one of these speeches. She took me to the park. She sat me on a picnic bench, me and her. She would talk to me. She said, I need you to know something about the world you live in. It's gonna bother you, but it's a fact. She said, your sister can actually be late. but you can't. If you want to be successful in this world, you can't be late at all. And I hated that.
Right.
I wanted to cry, but she was right.
Yeah.
And I saw the comments, and people were like, "Well, his mama was still fake for that." But no, what do you want her to do? She's white. She
That's
knew what it
real.
was. She knew what time it was,
Yeah, it's the
and
truth.
she would have did him a disservice not telling him that. His
Back
own
to
sister.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like she better protect her child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have found
And
out
so
the
it's like
hard
that.
way if she didn't
Mhm.
let him know right now. Then and there.
And we've heard stories of white foster parents doing a lot worse to black kids. So this is a pretty good example.
Well, we that's a whole nother show. We foster parents in general. We ain't even got to label it that. All right, let's go on to myth number because we're at 50 minutes. So let's go on to myth number 7. Oh, this one is the one that kills me. Black families don't promote education. That's the myth. The fact is, black families have a long tradition of fighting for access to education, from Reconstruction to HBCUs to modern advocacy. Black parents consistently place high value on academic achievement despite systematic barriers. If we didn't fight for education, why would we need? If we were able to go to schools like everybody else, why would we have made HBCUs?
It's a crazy
There would have
comment.
been no purpose for that. No purpose. And the reason why HBCUs were extremely successful, and something that people don't know about, there was a lot of people that were against segregation, especially people that were in the education sector. You know what they were finding out? A black person in 5th grade was more educated than a white person in 5th grade. You know why? Because most, at that time, statistically, Caucasian people who went to Ivy Leagues and higher education, they're not coming back to teach elementary school and middle school and high school. They weren't doing that. But black people were going and getting master's degrees and doctorates, and they were coming back and teaching high school and middle school and elementary school.
Right.
And that's why they were surprised when black students went to school and they're like, well, he's doing exceptionally well. Yeah, you know why? Because the black kid that was allowed to go to Harvard came back and taught at a damn middle school. But and so there's another one of those myths, and it's not just black because Dion, you know, you're black, like we were talking about that earlier. But there's this thing that brown people, whether they're African American, Hispanic, or whatever, don't push education. I throw it in y'all hands.
Yeah. No. That I made a face whenever you brought up the myth, just because that it's contrary to my entire life. It was adamant, and for all of my black friends as well, it's been adamant from their parents, like their friends, their families. We're going to get our education. No one else can stop us. I have a black fraternity brother right now who almost had to drop out of college because he couldn't afford it. And the amount of us that came together to make sure that he was able to stay and get his education, we don't play.
I'm gonna say that I feel like it's because that's probably it's basically a stereotype because of we excel in sports, and so when we excel in sports, so it's kind of like, oh, they're just good for basketball, football, this, that, but we're about our education, so it's kind of one of those things that kind of discredit us and try to say that, oh, they're just good at this, because they don't want to give you too much credit and say, oh, their education and sport, and like, so it's one of those things. You got to take something away from them. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like a lot of the agenda is to push sports on you, this, that. Like, yeah, well, if you're not a basketball player, you're probably gonna be selling that. You'll probably be in the streets or something like that, because you're not gonna get an education, because black people are known for getting an education. They're either
Or
known
they'll
for sports, boxing, or something like
right.
that.
Or they'll go out of their way to give like exclusively one like person of color, like all of that. Like they'll go out of their way to make sure that they're like saying that they have this one black person in their, or like one person of color in their school that is like really athletic, really smart, all of these things. But anyone else is like an immediate like, you can't be that kind of thing. But it's just because that like area doesn't want to be seen as racist, because we only have this one thing. Da 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 da. We have one. we're doing great kind of thing, and
There's a mhm.
it's so common. And then on top of all of that, I mean, like Keone was saying before, part of the reason we're smarter isn't just for the fact that we're going back to like after getting all of these degrees and teaching more of us. It's the fact that at the end of the day, in order for us to get jobs, we have to work harder, which means we have to be smarter, which means that we have to do all these extra things that just because of a lot of a lot of people's privilege, they don't have to deal with that. So overall, more often than not, we end up more just generally intelligent because we have to.
Jameson, what do you think about this? Because one of the things Victor was saying is the sports, and people don't look at this. Most of the people you're referring to are black people that are in impoverished neighborhoods. And it makes sense. If you're in a neighborhood that is lacking the funding of educational and resources, and everybody in your town is working at the mill, and you know the way to get out of that and be successful is to bust your ass on the football field and get paid and get out of there, then that's what you're going to do. Right. And when people say, well, what do you mean it's not funded? I'm a perfect example. Born in an all black, impoverished, drug infested neighborhood. My mom cheated and used my grandma's address, so I went to a school that was predominantly white. I got kicked out of the middle school and I had to go to the school in my neighborhood. My mom thought it was great because within a month, the teachers were telling her how phenomenally intelligent I was. And she said, see, you just needed to be around. I knew I shouldn't have sent you to that school. And I said, no, I understood this at in seventh grade. I said, Mom, I'm doing math that I learned in the fourth grade at the other school. And that was my first introduction is we're not being taught the same. The kids in my neighborhood who look like me aren't being taught at the same level as the school I was going to with the kids that don't look like me. And they're both public schools. It's not like I went to a private school.
I know the reasons is because the reason is because the gross areas median is bigger, so they can tax them more for better schools and all that. But at some point, the, the black community has been torn down and tattered to the point where, especially by the government, but these areas are so stricken from previous disasters and previous things. I live in Detroit. Like the Detroit riots, that was a pivotal time for us. And a lot of homes got burnt down. And people are still recovering. Like the area still has its scars. And it's hard to build off those scars, but from the concrete grows a rose. Like even in my hometown of Detroit, shout out to D. But there's black people every day trying their hardest to revive it. So I don't think this is going to be an issue of this is going to be an everlasting thing. I think the community and we truly do care enough, and this podcast is proof of this. We're having these discussions, and I'm sure we can find someone to lobby for these things. Hell, I'll do it. I don't care to lobby for these things in our communities so that way we can build off of these things. So I don't think the conversation is. I'm not just my wife now, I guess, but instead of saying, "Oh, why do we keep thinking this?" We just need to fix it. Like work towards it.
That's right. Put the shit into motion. You already got it planned ahead. You
Yeah.
gotta do it.
All right.
All right. Let's go to myth number 8. I think myth number 8 kind of just ties back to the black families are on welfare number 2. So I don't think we need to rehash this one again. So I'm just going to read it and move on to the next one because the next one is the one that is another one that pisses me off. So this one is myth black families are inherently poor. The fact is poverty is systematic, not cultural. Again, poverty is systematic and that's what kind of what you were leading to, Jameson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Poverty is systematic, not cultural. Black families are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs. And throughout history, every time we've exploded in entrepreneurship, what happens?
It
Tulsa,
becomes a
anyone?
crime.
They destroy it.
Right.
Yep.
Creators of some of the
Take credit
strongest
for it.
middle class expansions, major contributors to entertainment, sports, military service, innovation, and small business ownership. You just don't get to steal our creativity anymore. So let's move on to number 9 because this is the one. This one is 1A, 1B to there's no black fathers in the home, right? That myth. And this is the other big myth. And y'all should know where I'm going with this one. What do y'all think that second biggest myth is besides no black fathers? As soon as I
There's
say it, you're gonna
yes.
get it. Myth: black families normalize crime.
Whoa,
What?
Here's the
that's
fact: crime
crazy.
exposure happens because of environmental inequities, not cultural endorsement. Black families teach accountability, faith, discipline, and community protection at high rates. So why does that myth get that narrative gets pushed? Two reasons. One, when we do music, all of a sudden it's cultural. So if we talk about crime and hip hop, it's cultural. But it's perfectly okay for rock bands to talk about drugs and then all white people aren't labeled drug addicts, right? So that's one thing. But the second thing is that stupid phrase that always gets brought up, black on black crime is out of control. As if white on white crime, Asian on Asian
Yeah.
crime is not the same thing. You're going to commit crimes with what's in your vicinity if you're committing crimes.
Yeah.
No one's driving 40 miles to commit crimes against an ethnicity that's not around them. That's like saying
Right.
Scottish people on Scottish people crime in Scotland is out of control. What are they supposed to do? Go to France?
Right.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. I genuinely thought the same thing because I'm like, if I'm just surrounded by black folks and I get robbed, you feel me? I'm trying to find out which one of them just robbed me. Like, this is crazy. And I'm assuming it
It,
was one of them. I'm not gonna just assume it's some white guy all the way 200 miles down in the burbs. It's
Wait,
crazy.
am I missing
it,
something? Ezekiel talking about robbing somebody?
yeah, you didn't hear?
I, I was talking about getting robbed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's the narrative. Is they're always pushing a certain narrative on us, on the black community to try to paint a certain image, and so everything in our community is magnified to make. Oh yes, this is going on. They're drug dealers or this, that, that. So it's always the narrative that they want to push to try to criminalize. So when they come up with these headlines and things that it kind of fits, we kind of match those descriptions, but it goes on every community. But it's just that with our community is magnified
Yeah, you're under a magnifying glass full time. Any action you do
all day.
may be
Yeah.
used against you.
You
Your
okay,
past
Jameson? You
is
ain't been the
always going to be
same
brought
since
up in the
you
future.
okay, Jameson? You ain't been the same since Ezekiel kicked you off the live. You ain't been the same.
I'm trying to hold on. I've been up for 36 hours.
Jameson was all fired up. He was leading the
I was,
Yeah.
I
charge.
was, I took an energy
Right.
drink for the first time. I was like, okay, I gotta pull it together. But no, I'm good. I was sitting here thinking the whole time. I'm like, I wonder if we poured more like resources into like a black like news network, would we care less? Like something that we have, you pay for like content, you pay for like accurate reports, you pay for good reporting, regardless of the story. You just pay for good reports that doesn't promote against us. What do you think we would generally like use that and care less about what they're saying? Because we know again, this is proof that they're lying on us. So do you think
We've done that.
that's
The problem is the people that in charge have to keep it. We've had the Ebony News, we have the Jet, we had the Essences, we've had the Black Statistics, we had BET, which was great, and then it got sold to Viacom, and then we saw what happened with that for about 2 decades of I don't need to watch the I Got the Hookup marathon for another
Mhm.
weekend. You
Yeah.
know,
But
so
this is like just a separate entity, like similar to like a CNN. It's just news. Do you
yeah,
think, like, especially in today's day and age, with how TikTok and all these black voices have been able to grasp like a global audience, at some point, don't you
we
think we
have
need to
that. We
like
just got to
wield
support
that
it
and like,
more. Right. We just have to support it more because
mhm.
You're exactly right, but I'm gonna do this, and this is anybody who's listening who's white or non-black. I'm not putting this out to say white people are terrible, but since we're talking about narratives and we're dispelling the myths on all these things that we talked about, what black people do, and the biggest one for me is crime. Let's talk about this. The seven biggest crimes in America. Hate crimes. Not all, but several categories of hate crime, particularly those associated with extremist groups, are statistically led by white offenders. Mass shootings, school shootings, and certain spree killings. In terms of mass shooters, not everyday gun violence. White males represent a large share of mass and school shooting offenders. This is one of the most documented criminology patterns. Sexual offenders, they lead in that. Property crime, burglary, larceny, vandalism, arson, shoplifting. You know who leads in that? White men. DUI, DWI, drunk driving offenses. Black people smoke weed and stay home. We don't drink a 12 pack of Michelob and jump in our car. Drunk driving, drug impaired, fatal DUI collisions. Drug possession and distribution. White Americans lead in the opioid related arrests, lead in methamphetamine arrests, and lead in prescription drug fraud. And then, of course, the biggest one is the white collar crime fraud, embezzlement, and corporate crime. Jameson can be in jail longer for having a gram of cocaine on him than someone who steals 10,000 employees' retirement fund.
I would never touch this stuff, but yeah.
I know you wouldn't. I'm just saying. I'm not saying having a gram of cocaine on you is great, but I'm just saying, look at that. You will be in jail longer for something that immediately affects you than somebody committing a crime that could affect thousands and thousands of people. Not saying drugs don't affect thousands of people. I think people with half a brain get where I'm going. But yet we're labeled as criminals. You know why? We make up a disproportionate amount of the arrests in this country, but we make up the largest amount of exonerations.
It's close to 50%.
Yeah, because just because you're arrested doesn't mean you were found guilty of a crime. That's why you get them handcuffs thrown on you. That's why I don't like to be detained. You know that trick they do now? You're not arrested, you're being detained.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, you're impeding my friend freedom, sir. Can I go? No, you're being detained, but you're not arrested.
If you're not arresting me, you have no right to hold me here.
Yep. And then the other one, when Jameson points out these systematics, is the point system. You guys know about the point system?
Yeah, the more times that you've had an arrest or like
Oh
anything.
no, not even that one. That's a different one. The point system when it comes to gangs and gang members. So you in California, in certain places, they had these point systems where you get a certain amount of points on your affiliation with gangs. So Jameson, let's say you and Victor were brothers. You're in college. He's a gang member. You're not in a gang. He's your big brother. He made sure you stayed out of it. Him being your brother gives you points. You take a picture with him, points. He's got another gang member at the store.
Wow.
You walk out. You talk to both of them for 2 seconds, and a cop sees you, points.
Wow.
There was I can't remember his name off the top of my head. There was a famous guy in Southern California who never been in a gang. He has a giant organization to help against gang violence, getting people out of gangs, helping people who quit gangs. And he got arrested because of his points, because every time he was taking pictures with these gang members, they were giving him points.
Crazy.
Wild world.
But then people sit there and go, oh, the world is fair. It's not systematically geared to hurt people of color. You guys get over it, because black people are the only people that have to get over everything. Get over slavery, get over civil rights, get over police brutality. 9/11, never forget. Holocaust, never forget. But you guys get over it.
I mean, now they're protest against all protests.
And I appreciate people like Dion, because Dion, what's your ethnic background?
I'm black and Mexican.
He's black and Mexican. There are too many people that are mixed or don't consider themselves black. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you'll tell them that and they'll go, I'm not black. And I always say, get pulled over in the right place. And then that is like how you roll your eyes. I'm from Miami, and I would run into black Cubans, black Dominicans, and they'd be like, "I'm not black." I'm like, "Okay, take your
I've
ass to Mississippi and get a speeding ticket and tell me if you're black."
I've run into a lot of I, I don't know why it's primarily the gay people, but I've run into a lot of like specifically black gay people who act the same way, even when they were raised in the South, and it's I don't. I, that's it. It's just like you're gonna deal with it. At the end of the day, you're black. Sorry.
Odd statement. That makes sense. I mean, you don't just,
It's
you know what
just
I'm saying,
anything
gotta
with
avoid
color.
hurdles. Yeah.
Ezekiel, the quietness of your mic irks my soul. It really irks my soul.
I'm sorry. Let me turn it up for you.
The show's over.
Yeah.
You've been
Let,
whispering in our ear all
let me
night.
turn it up for you.
Yeah, I
All
can't stand
right. Is that better?
Jameson.
Yes.
You sound
That
so
yes
mellow and
man
chill,
is so
yes.
done.
Oh man.
And you know Jameson, so like we're not pro black. Jameson is definitely pro black. You probably had a lot to say. You just fucking killed. When he popped up with your name, I was like, "Is he in your house? What just happened?"
It just killed like all the energy I had. Like I stored up a bunch. I'm like, okay, I can make it through. Crash. I'm like, oh god. And it kept failing too. So I'm like, okay, I'm not getting back in.
Ezekiel, you owe
I
him
kept
a
doing
very deep apology, Ezekiel.
Nah, Ezekiel, you got it,
sorry,
gang. Don't
Jameson.
worry, we all good. We all good. You know
Our
what?
links
Next
were
podcast will
together,
be
man.
better. Real? Come on.
Yeah, do
Oh
better.
yeah.
Dap him up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
dab him up.
Uh.
let's hear
Dab
it.
him
This
up.
next
There
podcast
you
will be
go.
better. Will be better. I'll be better
Yeah.
than you guys.
Yeah, bro. That's on
Don't
me,
take my
bro.
name,
That's
gang.
on
Don't
me.
take my game.
That's,
And get a mic somewhere besides 5 and below.
this was
I need to
$35.
get a webcam. That's on me at this point. I just need to get a webcam. Like,
Maybe
and
don't
all my
use
other
a
ones fail.
gaming headset mic.
Oh
The
yeah.
thing is, I have a headset mic, and I was using a different computer that has a webcam. It crashed. I had to
No,
use my phone.
Jameson, your microphone's fine. We're talking specifically about
I
this.
think it was talking about me.
Oh yeah, dang. What you got?
You over here with the gaming headset.
Microphone, a little business headset. I thought this one was gonna be nice.
He looked like he about to say, "Your credit will be on your next bill, sir."
Wait, Zeke, are you on a PC? What are you on?